Boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and we got to go down to Atlanta. There's a whole lot of moving and shaking going on with the Falcons, man, and as promised, I'm going to keep covering it. They have lost 3 players since signing Tua. Kevin Stefanski is driving the place down the drain. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The Falcons media is looking like, damn, what's finna happen in the next coming weeks, man? We got to jump right into this, man. So we know that the Atlanta Falcons has been the topic of discussion ever since pretty much Kevin Stefanski walked into their meeting room, dog. A lot of fans voiced their frustrations a couple months ago when it was announced. Then last week, we get the news that Tua will be signing and joining this quarterback room. But there is some other news that's coming out that the Falcons has lost 3 players since free agency signing day has opened. Now, granted, they have made some power moves. I'm not going to sit here and say that they haven't, because they just signed a big-time linebacker, former Georgia Bulldog linebacker, bro. This young man is sensational. We going to talk about him in a minute, but we have to talk about the Falcons losing 3 players on opening signing day. The Atlanta Falcons had an eventful day to begin the legal tampering period of NFL free agency. The team has agreed to terms for multiple free agents while letting a few key players sign elsewhere. Running back Tyler Algier, defensive lineman David, and cornerback D. Alford have all found new homes. These are pivotal players that was on this team for quite some time. And it's being reported that Tyler will reportedly sign a 2-year deal worth $12 million contract with the Arizona Cardinals after spending his first NFL 4 seasons in Atlanta, bruh. Another player, DN David Okamada, has reportedly landed a 1-year deal, $10 million deal with the New York Jets. Alfred is signing a 3-year, $21 million contract with the Bill. Now, while all 3 losses will be felt by this Falcons team, which was somewhat expected to do Atlanta lack of salary cap, so they kind of in the same position that Cleveland is in right now. The team brought back cornerback Natron Brooks, who helped Alfred this season. But overall, the Falcons could look to the NFL draft to replace some of these guys. That was generally the best place to find cheap running backs and talent. Now, as of right now, the media is definitely kind of feeling the type of way about the current state of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all bad for the Falcons, because it is not all bad for them. They have signed a big-time linebacker today, and that's what we finna talk about. See, I'm not here to just, bash on the Falcons, bro. I want to give y'all a little hope, dog. As, somebody that's trying to report on y'all squad, man. I just got to do that for y'all. Now, they did make a big-time move, like I stated. Now, we haven't heard any media announcements yet for addressing Tua, speaking to the media, and things like that, man. But it's being reported by Adam Schefter's, the Atlanta Falcons plan to sign free agent linebacker Channing Tindall, a former Georgia Bulldog. Tindall has spent time with the Miami Dolphins and Arizona Cardinals as a core special teams player. Now, this young man right here is the hottest news I got for y'all coming out of Atlanta. Now, with that being said, we got to check out the word on the street involving Michael Penix and this Tua quarterback battle, because that seemed like that's going to be the biggest storyline coming out of Atlanta for the 2025 season, 26 season, I should say. It's this quarterback position.
And then the draft plays a huge factor in this as well. So we got to wait and see. Carolina drafted like 8 straight defensive players 3 years ago. And then they just re-sign and sign some free agents on the defensive side of the ball. That's going to make it very tough on other teams in the NFC South to get after that team. So it's not going to be easy, but Carolina's building a bit of a juggernaut. The Saints have done a nice job in free agency as well, getting the guys they're looking to hammer down. We lost one of our best players to the Saints. So
all 3 teams finished with the same record.
Yeah,
so the tiebreaker got the Carolina Panthers the title. So really no team has one leg up on the other. Quarterback situation here clearly is going to be a national story all year long next year. And it's funny hearing depending on when you hear it and who you ask, the answer is different just about every time about the quarterbacking here in Atlanta. Here is Courtney Cronin from ESPN saying that Tua coming to Atlanta is a fantastic decision.
It's a safe option that they now have somebody who started a lot of games over his career as a starter in the NFL, and it gets you through this season where the guy that you expect to be your franchise quarterback is not going to be your franchise quarterback right now because he's literally hurt and he's on the shelf. So I think it's a win for Atlanta to be able to get somebody like this in there to help them get through the 2026 season.
100%.
She called it safe. That's what I took out of there.
You had to find somebody safe. You had to find somebody to come in there with a little bit of experience and know-how, and maybe he's that guy for us.
Here's David Woody saying of the two, he thinks one guy should be starting over the other.
It's just hard for me to imagine a guy, Michael Penix, with his injury history. And I know Tua has an injury history, but Michael Penix is a guy he can't even play underneath center, guys. Look at all the injuries Michael Penix has had, just going back from college to now. Okay, and the injury that he's coming back from is not an easy injury to come back from. And so when I look at Tua, this is a guy that he's had his spurts as far as playing some high-end football. He's playing indoors. They got a good offensive line. They have weapons. They have premier weapons in Atlanta. So if I had to get an edge right now, I'd probably get the edge to Tua.
Courtney Cronin says safe. Damian Woody says the edge goes to Tua. Here's Adam Schefter. Brian Finneran, he says he doesn't know who to pick.
Last year, the Colts brought in Daniel Jones, and I know that they really like Daniel Jones, but there might have been some people who are saying, well, that's Anthony Richardson's job, right? And Daniel Jones started the season, and had he not gotten hurt, he would have been the guy all year. So I would say that in Atlanta, the quarterback situation, to me, from the outside looking in, is open. It's open. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be crowned the starter going into training camp.
So he says competition. Courtney Cronin says safe. Damian Woody says Tua's the starter. Adam Schefter says it needs to be competition. Here is Phil Simms, who joined Nick Cellini and Chris Domino yesterday, and he says the other guy should be the quarterback for the Falcons.
Yeah, they're not the same. They're not even close to being the same. I don't look at Michael Penix and everything I just said about Tua. Michael Penix is a downfield thrower. It's easy for him. He likes to see the guy and see him open before he decides to throw it. And he can get away with that because even though he doesn't throw maybe in rhythm and on time, his arm strength overcomes it. So I would think long range, the Atlanta Falcons would love to see Michael Penix really ready to go in the NFL as a starting quarterback, and they would like to be, I think, a dynamic throwing, passing team. Yeah, well, we can run it. Everybody knows that. We got a really good offensive line down there, but can we just get it down the field and be that explosive team that I think they envisioned when they drafted Michael Penix?
Courtney Cronin, safe. Damian Woody, Tua. Adam Schefter, competition. Phil Simms, Michael Penix Jr. long term. What do you want me to do, John Michaels?
I'm going competition.
All right.
And let the best man win the job.
That's
and
right.
then I figure it out over a 17-game stretch.
All right.
Because after this year, Michael Penix only has 1 year left on his deal. After this year, you have to make a determination. Does he have a fifth year? Do you pick up the fifth-year option or not? If Tua beats him out for the job, then I'm not picking up the fifth-year option. I'm going to sign Tua, not to some inordinate deal, but I'm going to have him on something that's going to be a lot more team-friendly. I think Tua probably realizes that. That's all he's going to get. And I'm letting Michael Penix walk. Conversely, Michael Penix wins the job. You're off the hook for Tua at the end of the year. He's a $1.3 million insurance policy, which in the NFL is basically pennies.
So the way I'm looking at it, you'll either find out who your starter is because one of those guys will be finishing the season and you'll know where the season finishes up, or neither one will work out and you'll have to go get a new starter probably in the draft with a veteran latent team with your wide receiving core and getting ready to pay Bijan and getting ready to make another decision on Kyle Pitts. So I think for the fans, it's going to work itself out. And finally, we're coming out of the quagmire of not knowing, and it should be fun, especially if the wins come along with it. We were talking earlier about the Georgia.
Now, that is the current state of the Atlanta media, man. We're going to continue to track this quarterback situation, very similar to what we've seen go down in Cleveland. This is Kevin Stefanski, MO, man. Until next time, shake the haters off. I'm out here, y'all. Peace out.